Who the hell are you?
DJ Blighty.
Hey guys, what's going on? It's your boy DJ Blighty. Welcome to DJ Blighty TV. And the title of today's video, which is beat matching, basically for beginners. I have to excuse my face being out of the shot. This is just a tutorial video, so I'm going to be using my setup here to show you what we're going to be learning today. Excuse me. Now, it doesn't matter which setup you're using. I'm going to go into the basics of beat matching and BPM and structure of music so you can get an understanding. Now, it doesn't matter which genre of music you play or you're planning on playing, the principle is fundamentally going to be the same. Now, I've got a few tracks lined up for you today that I'm going to use. But I'm using R&B and hip-hop because that's really what I play, but the same principles will apply to all forms of music. Now, the first thing we're going to look at is the structure of the music, okay? Now, it doesn't matter if you're using a big controller like this, which is the Pioneer the Pioneer DDJ-SZ, which, as you can see, is a very similar setup to the Pioneer CDJ 2000s and the DJ-M series of mixers. It's pretty much identical in size, it's just all in one unit, but it doesn't matter if you're using something similar to this on a smaller scale, whether you're using Technics, vinyl record decks, CDJs, no matter what make, principle is going to be the same here, okay? So the first thing we're going to look at is the actual version of the song that you have got. Now, most records nowadays are available in intro form. So what we're going to do first of all is break down the structure of the music, okay? Now, when a song is produced, it's either going to go straight into the main part of the song, or it's going to have it's going to have a small intro of either 4 beats, 8 beats, 16 beats, or as much as 32 beats. Now, songs with 32 beats, providing there's no vocals and things going on, you don't really need to use the intro version, okay? Now, I've got a good example set up here. I'm going to use an old school track just so it hopefully won't get taken down for copyright purposes. But what we're going to do is look at the counting of the bars and phrases to begin with. So this is the first thing that you need to do, and I'm sorry to say it's going to change the way you hear music in the future, because you're going to be counting over and over in your head. So what we're going to do is look at the original for a second, just to count the timing of everything, okay? We've got it pitched at 0, which means that it's at its natural tempo. So what we're going to do is count as we go through, okay? I'm going to press play. You ready? 1, 2, 3, 4, 2, 2, 3, 4, 3, 2, 3, 4, 4, 2, 3, 4, beat, 2, 3, 4, 2, 2, 3, 4, 3, 2, 3, 4, 4, 2, 3, 4. And there's your track. So basically, what we've got there is an original version of a song, 32 beats on the intro. Now, I've got an intro version of that song lined up on the other side, which basically changes the whole way the song comes in. So it goes like this. Same principle with the counting. So I want you to count in your head with me. You ready? 1, 2, 3, 4, 2, 2, 3, 4, 3, 2, 3, 4, 4, 2, 3, 4. Again. 2, 3, 4, 2, 2, 3, 4, 3, 2, 3, 4, 4, 2, 3, 4. We're in. So there you have it. 2 identical songs, different versions. This is an intro version made by DJs or music producers, which you'll find on a lot of the record pools. Now, the reason I've shown you this is because personally, I don't like using just intro versions. It all depends on the way the song is produced and how I want the crowd to react. If it's a song like that, I might, mix it in so it drops on point. On point is when the track actually begins. And, we'll go into that in a future video, but just to give you an idea, you don't have to stick to intro versions. That can sometimes get a little bit repetitive and a little bit boring. But today we're looking at the basics, so we're going to go back to the structure. So where we were counting, what we were actually counting was the first beat of the bar. So that's where the 1, 2, 3, 4, and then we changed it to 2, 2, 3, 4, because that's the second bar of the phrase of music. So we're in total looking at 16 beats, so that's 4 bars, and then it continues again. So it'll either start from there. That's the way most music is structured, okay? You get the odd producer who are trying it more and more to make our jobs as DJs more difficult, who are putting random bits in. They're not sticking to musical structure at all. They're just throwing the odd offbeat in here and there. Well, that's something we'll go into at a future date, but for now we're going to look at mixing 2 tracks together. Now, I want to train you by using your ears, not using technology too much, because it's something I feel is important if you're a DJ for you to actually understand, so you don't rely on the technology and ever get stuck if that technology isn't available to you. So we're going to keep it to the real bare essentials today, okay? So what we're going to look at first of all is the beats per minute. So a track like the one I just played is 97 BPM, which means there's 97 beats running per minute, okay? Now there's not many other tracks. You can't double the tempo. You couldn't go to 200 BPM unless you were crazy, and I wouldn't really recommend halving it because it wouldn't sound too good in the mix. Now, percentage wise, most of your players are going to have an average of 6 to 10% plus and minus on the pitch fader. CDJs, they'll allow you, I think it's 6, 10, 16% and then 100%, which to me is too much. I never go over about 8%, that's pushing it. Generally, I like to stay within 6% of the original tempo, otherwise it starts making the track sound a little bit too fast or a little bit too slow, okay? So once we've got the BPM, the first thing we need to do is match the BPM of the record we are going to play next. So I'm going to select a track which is, let's have a look, 100 BPM. So, 101 BPM. So what we're going to do is actually match the tempos. Now, what I'm going to do here, I'm going to pitch this one up to 100. It doesn't matter, I'm using Serato, but you can use Tractor or Record Box. All these things will give you a BPM readout nowadays, okay? So what we're going to do is pitch them both so they say 100 on the screen, alright? So there you go, you know you've got your tempos matched. Now, there's DJs putting mixes out nowadays that have got this right. They've got the numbers on point, but they're not mixing on time, and that is what we need to look at now, which is very, very important. And the fundamentals of beat matching really is when to press play. Now there's 2 ways you can do this. You can use either your cue or your play button. Once you've got it cued, there you should have cue point set if you're downloading from record pools, but you always want to set your cue point on the first beat of the first bar that you want to mix in with, okay? Now this version I'm using on the right hand side is an intro version, which gives me 8 bars, which is 32 beats, the same length of the chorus on this record on this side, okay? So what we're going to do is look at when I need to press play. So I'm going to jump ahead to the chorus of this record now. Volume down a little. So I'm going to start counting now. 1, 2, 3, 4, 2, 2, 3, 4, 3, 2, 3, 4, 4, 2, 3, 4, play. Just a slight adjustment there, just to get it dead on time. And as you can see, on time. There we go. So it's all about when you press play. Now there's different ways to do this. I just showed you the simple way, which you'll probably want to practice for now, which is cueing the first beat, timing it like that. What you're hearing here, you wouldn't normally hear. I do it in my headphones, but I'm doing it just to demonstrate to you what I want you to actually practice, okay? So it's all about that counting. Now, the first beat of the chorus generally is going to give you 32 beats to mix with. So depending on the length of the track you're bringing in, if you've got a nice clean intro version like the one I had on the right hand side, then you'll get away with it by counting probably 4 bars before the mix. But I really want you to start practicing counting the way the music's structured, so the bars, the beats and the phrases. By phrases, that's where it carries from verses into choruses and back out again, but it's knowing your records that will really benefit you here, okay? I'm going to show you another technique, which is something I prefer to use personally. Don't worry too much about what I'm doing with the faders and the EQs today. That'll be a more detailed lesson in the future. Today, as I said, just the basics of beat matching, okay? So we're going to do the same thing now. Jump ahead to the chorus. And what I'm going to do instead of pressing the Q button this time is actually manually cue it, which you can do with a record or CDJ. And personally, I find it easier to drop on time by releasing the CDJ manually rather than pressing play, but that's all going to be down to your personal preference and your style of DJing. So yeah, there we have it. 2 records playing simultaneously, and all about when you press that play button, okay? So I hope today's lessons helped you. It's really a simple lesson on beats per minute, beats, bars and phrases, and structure of music, when to press play once you've got your numbers matched up to make it sound on time. I am actually fed up of hearing DJs saying, can you listen to my mix? And it sounds like this. Oh, the beats are on time. They've got 100 written on. How bad does that sound? Seriously guys, if you're at this stage, please don't put mixes up online. I mean no offense. Practice, practice, practice. I hope today has helped you a lot. Subscribe to the channel for future videos. I'll go into more detail in future, but for today we're going to wrap it up there. Please leave any comments in the section below. If you have any questions, feel free to ask. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you on the next video. Peace.